Well, thank you so much for joining me today here on Poppy and Vines Meet the Maker. Tanessa and Tim, it's so great to have you. I'm going to officially turn it over to you to introduce yourselves, and then we'll go from there.
Awesome. Thanks, Lindsay. It's totally an honor to be here talking to our community. We are Tanessa and Tim Daw, and we are the co-founders of Reclamation Etchworks. We laser etch spirit decanters and wine decanters for the home bar. It all started in 2013. Tim and I were both working in bars and restaurants in San Francisco. And we actually met working at Foreign Cinema, which is still one of our—
yeah, that's a great spot.
Yeah. Every time we go back, it's just a great place. So, and it was so much fun to work there. And really the actual start of our company was we were having our own holiday party, and we wanted something fancier to be serving our spirits in. And we had bought, handles of things to serve at the party, but we didn't want our guests pouring cocktails, trying to mix cocktails, the giant bottles. And so Tim grabbed some bottles out of the recycling at work, and he was working at Tech Shop, which is a maker space.
A communal workshop, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so he had access to all these different really cool machines and technologies. And so he took these recycled bottles into Tech Shop and just laser etched some labels on them for our party. And our friends all thought that was really cool. And we opened an Etsy shop.
Yeah, that's great.
Sorry, children.
Oh, it's okay. It's life. It is 2020.
It is 2020. We are so that reporter where the kids come into every single call.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so from there we just started having bars and restaurants in the city. We were part of the community, so we had bartender friends all over the place start collecting bottles for us.
Oh, nice.
And our original set is the Variants set. It is still available online. It is still all upcycled bottles. We obviously had a rough year this year collecting because everything was closed. So that is the only line that's all upcycled. The other lines we have, we purchased the glass, so it's new glass. But
we still like to kind of focus on sustainability. We still consider ourselves a sustainable design company. We were upcycling those bottles, and one of our other sets, the Constants, we're still using upcycled bottles as well that we have a back stock in. But also, we kind of feel like we're creating a product that's not disposable. We kind of have a disposable culture where everything is, single use and thrown away. And we're trying to create something that is going to last a lifetime. And maybe even more. Maybe it's something that you hand down to the next generation. It's something that's kind of a family heirloom.
Right. And that's a major way that our company has evolved, as well as going from our product, that we created over time. We have found that we can really create one-of-a-kind gifts for people. We can put names and dates. We can put special logos. We can, create something really unique for people. And that kind of ended up being our niche that we didn't know that's where we were going, but it's been a really great way to get to work with people and collaborate with people and create something really, really special. And again, like we were talking about a few minutes ago, it's been unique this year because we're not going to events. So we're learning how to do it all via Zoom.
Well, I know, so I first met you both at the Harvest Fair last year, really purely by chance, and I was excited to meet you. I immediately fell in love with your products that were there. In addition to the customization, the lineups that you guys have available. I love the classicness of them. I really appreciate that, some of the retro vibe prints that you guys have, and then even those classic cocktail bottles and things like that. I think it's just a lovely product and a high quality product, and I agree it is something that's going to last and be there for generations to come, which I personally love that about about basically housewares.
Yeah. Thank you. And it's an honor to be able to create something that somebody is going to want to hold on to, that feels like a really special place to be. So we enjoy that so much.
And the period inspired design kind of seemed like a natural fit. When we got started, it was a little bit kind of just the beginning of the classic cocktail movement coming back,
Right.
making a resurgence. And a lot of that was all the pre-prohibition cocktails. So we started off doing the Art Nouveau and the Art Deco styles.
Mm-hmm.
And then we realized that was kind of our thing. So we moved into a Victorian style. And then last year we put out our mid-century set. And so we're kind of just all these period inspired designs are kind of really driving our decanter sets right now.
Makes it really hard to choose which one to buy. I'm just going to be honest. I'm like, I want them all.
Well, thanks. Yeah, you got to have a pretty big home bar to fit them all.
I mean, I like to think I have a pretty extensive collection, but I still don't have that much space.
I know how that goes.
Yeah.
I always say we have 2 small children in a house full of glass.
Right? That's how ironic.
Yeah.
Well, so you guys originally started out in the bar community. And this is, I think, a really great way to kind of bridge that gap, right? So I feel like if you're in food and beverage, you have a passion for it. It's always kind of there and in you, but it's also a challenging lifestyle, especially as you start to have children and whatnot. And so this is such a lovely way to kind of have your like feet in both worlds, I think is a great way to describe it.
Totally. We still get to maintain a lot of our friendships with, a lot of our friends took that evolution from working in bars and restaurants to being reps for different spirit companies and that sort of thing.
Right.
And so we get to support, we make all sorts of stuff for them too. So we get to maintain that, you work in a restaurant, it's a real family type of situation. And
definitely.
To working from home and owning your own business like we did. And it was kind of like, oh, how are we going to stay connected? And it was because of all of this that we get to. And we actually just made some water decanters for Foreign Cinema. So we're
nice.
We're
perfect.
Still
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we got to deal with them. We're going to be doing some Nick and Nora glassware that's a Foreign Cinema on them. It'll be great for them because, with the limited capacity and now they're being forced with COVID just to outdoor dining again in the cold,
right.
That they're, their supporters still want to help out. And so they're launching this glassware line that we can provide for them, and then people can buy, Nick and Nora's, let's say Foreign Cinema, to kind of help support them. Which we think
what a beautiful! I love that initiative. That's great. Yeah, I mean, I think 2020 obviously has been a challenging year for so many, and but I do love the inventiveness that has come from it, especially in the food and beverage community, and pivoting at every corner, really, and making it work. So that's a great story and a great example.
Yeah, and still, that family aspect comes back to that because, everybody's looking out for each other. We try to make a point to eat out at least once a week, so we're supporting local restaurants and things like that, where we all understand that we're in the same boat in different places, but the same boat.
Yeah. And so you mentioned you guys had previously been in San Francisco, but you now call Santa Rosa home, or is Sonoma County in general?
Santa Rosa, we're on the west side, almost to Sebastopol.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
And so where are some of your favorite places to dine out these days?
Well, it was very interesting because when we first fell in love with Sonoma County was when we were looking for wedding venues in 2012. And so we would come up here all the time, and any days off that we have, and we would look for places to get married, but really it was just an excuse to come up here. And we kind of just fell in love with it up here. I grew up in Cupertino, so I had been, aware of the Northern Bay Area, but hadn't spent a ton of time here. But yeah, really fell in love with it then. And Tim is from Chicago originally, but we were just enamored. So after we got married, we kind of knew that we had left our hearts up here.
We'd come up here for wine field trips with Foreign Cinema and some different restaurants work at. So we've been up here a handful of times, probably more than normal people because of our industry, the wine industry being up here, which is another reason that it seemed like such a good fit for us. It's the farms and the agriculture and all the wine industry up here, and spirits and beer as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it kind of seemed like a perfect fit for us to plant our roots.
Yeah, and so after our daughter was born, San Francisco just wasn't really working anymore. It was real hard to be in the city, and they tried to hike our rent right away after the baby came, and we were just like, we can't do this. It's time. So we had the good fortune to stay with my grandparents for a while we figured out where we were going to, relocate exactly. And then we came up here and had a baby. So we didn't go out to eat as much as we love to go out and eat. And then we had another baby. And so we have not gotten to do all the dining experiences that we look forward to doing.
We definitely have some favorites still. And I think what you were going with our wedding story is that we'd come up and we went to Rosso all the time.
Oh, yeah. Rosso is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we still go there as much as possible.
And then it's raining today, so I have my brain on ramen gaijin. Just kind of when we're like, oh, what do we do? And it's, ramen.
I think we went to Handline in Sebastopol a handful of times over the summer. It's really nice. Yeah,
their outdoor space is a really nice space that they did there. I also remember that when it was a Foster Freeze. So I'm born and raised here, and so I've gotten to see kind of the evolution of the county as it has grown. And that was we used to go and cut down a Christmas tree out in Sebastopol, and then go to Foster Freeze, which was Handline, which is now Handline.
Yes,
what a good tradition.
Yeah,
I love it. And then also in lockdown, as we've each had a birthday. Next week will be my son's birthday, so that will complete our whole family has had a birthday in COVID times.
Wow.
And so our family birthday treat has been always to go to Hana Sushi.
Oh, nice.
So we've been doing takeout Hana Sushi for everybody's birthday.
Delicious.
Not quite the same, but it's still amazing.
Yeah, it is still tasty.
That is an amazing restaurant. Even having worked at sushi restaurants and having tried all the ones in San Francisco, like Hana has probably been my favorite sushi place in the Bay Area since I moved here. It's
nice.
Yeah.
That's great. So if you don't mind me asking, where did you guys get married?
We got married at...
It was a private property called Shady Farms. It's right off River Road.
Where the PG&E, the PG&E...
There's a... what's the resort there?
It's wine. It's the vineyard, not the vineyard. It's the
Sky Fog? That one?
No. It's like River Road and 101. I want to say it's called the Vineyard, but that's not what it's called. Vintner's Inn.
Yes.
So it's the property next door to Vintner's Inn. It's this old farmhouse, and the guy who owned it had restored everything. He had been a firefighter, and he had restored the whole house himself, and he just let us have the property for like 3 days.
How cool.
It was so cool.
It was really perfect.
It was actually very hot.
Yeah, it was like 110 degrees that day, but it's beautiful. He had a giant walnut tree and a little redwood grove, and it backed right up to a vineyard, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And we got to stay in the house.
And my goal was to get married under a redwood tree, and we had family coming from all over the country, so we didn't want to like go way out in the woods somewhere. So he had a little redwood grove on the property, so I got to be married under a redwood tree, even though we weren't out in the forest.
That's really special.
It was really cool.
It was perfect. And we had our friends from Foreign Cinema DJ the party and
cater it.
And all of our friends from the restaurant industry all prepared one dish, and we did kind of a family style.
We got engaged in Spain, so we had.
It was very fitting.
We had 7 different chefs from the Bay Area each make a tapa, and we did tapas. We were so lucky.
What a special experience.
It was super cool. We got a bunch of wine from Donkey and Goat Winery because we knew the people that were.
That one.
They're more, yeah, they're more Bay,
Okay.
East Bay area, but yeah, it was really special, and we're coming up on our 10-year anniversary in a couple years, and our friends are already like, "Are you gonna throw another party like that?"
Yeah.
Sure, but I'm gonna have to charge you this time.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
No, we're not sure that he's still hosting parties there. I think he might have gotten in trouble with the neighbors because our party was got a little
Might have gone all night. I don't know.
a little loud, a little late.
That's what they're for. That's what weddings are for. It's supposed to be a good party.
It was a lot of fun for sure.
So obviously you guys spent a fair amount of time in San Francisco. Where was your favorite place to dine there? I mean, there's so many good spots. It's probably hard to pick.
Yeah. Well, besides foreign cinema was kind of our default a lot of the time. We lived on Potrero Hill.
Mm-hmm.
So we like to go to breakfast and brunch at this little place called Plow that was on Potrero Hill that was like farm to table. It's kind of similar to the Naked Pig here in Santa Rosa.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a similar type of vibe, little tiny, sweet, fresh.
Yeah, like 20 seats maybe.
Yeah,
really tiny.
And just whatever was available at the time, they'd make. It was great.
Gosh, favorite restaurants. What do you? Can't even.
I know there's so many. There's so many.
It's hard. I know.
We just found out that Chris Cosentino had to close Coxcomb, which was one of our favorites.
I didn't hear that news. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it was really. We were there for his 40th birthday. Actually, that's where we chose to go, and that place was just the coolest.
Mm-hmm.
Liho Yacht Club.
Yes,
that place is great.
Yeah, yes,
I actually worked for the chef we opened Prospect together. With
Chef Ravi is amazing. Yeah.
I like their little bar that they opened downstairs.
Yeah.
This is really tasty too.
Yeah, and I know that they are. I've been meaning to get down there because I know they're doing takeout also right now, and they've been doing fun Hawaiian like malasadas and like really fun kind of experimental. Like they did a pumpkin spice malasada for Halloween. Yeah, fun. So I haven't gotten down there to get anything yet, but it's on my list.
Yeah. And so you mentioned, when you guys first started, you started with an Etsy shop. If now, obviously, I'm assuming you've moved out of Etsy.
Oh, we still keep our Etsy shop actually. Not only Etsy's a really for anyone starting out in their own business, Etsy is a really great platform to start on because you are getting traffic that are warm buyers. So they're going to Etsy because they want to be supporting, most people are going to Etsy because they want to be supporting smaller makers and they want to be supporting individuals and craftspeople. And so they already kind of understand what it is that goes into whatever it is you're making. And that tends to be an audience that is just, someone that we work really well with. And the other thing that I'd like to tell any new, business about Etsy is a great platform to be discovered on. Mm-hmm. So 2 years ago, we got featured on Etsy as one of their featured shops, which was great. And we were so excited about it. And, we had a nice spike in our traffic and it was wonderful. And we went camping to celebrate. And we got back, we had an email saying, we need you to call us. Whoopi Goldberg would like to feature you on The View. And I was like, what? No, that's not
real.
That's not real. Well, it turns out that she had seen our feature and had ordered from us under her real name. And we had sent some of our decanters to Whoopi Goldberg, and
Tanessa had been going back and
emailing,
forth with her.
She ordered wrong, and I had to, and I kept like, oh, Karen, you're so fun. She was so funny on email. I had,
Yeah, you had no idea, right?
Who knows?
Right.
Turns out through that summer we got featured as one of Whoopi's favorite things on The View, which was such an honor. It was the coolest thing, and so anyone starting out, even if you don't love Etsy, it's a good platform for people to find you.
And Etsy's actually doing good things right now. They had a period where they kind of, when they first went public, that we saw our sales really drop off, and we thought that we were going to be done with them, that we had moved on to our own website. And then they asked to feature us, and we're like, all right, well, I guess we're still doing Etsy. But then now, like, they have a new CEO, and they've really taken off, and they have actually become everything that we've always wanted them to be.
They're pretty they're pretty supportive of their artists, and they do a lot of Etsy's doing a lot of advertising for Etsy, so it's driving more traffic to Etsy, and that just benefits the people who are on there.
Right.
So I probably will be Etsy for life. I think that, you know, it's a great place to start. It's a great place to launch yourself, but there's no reason not to keep
continue.
Yeah, but we do have our own shop now, and we in COVID, since we're not traveling and doing any other shows, we've been really working hard on our website, trying to get it to be everything we want. And we've been working on it since April.
Websites are, I mean, they're a lot of work.
But for anybody who goes to our site and they are unable to make something look the way they want, please always contact us, because we are more than happy to talk with people personally and make it happen.
Great. So with that, so they could go to Etsy to find your products. They can shop online directly on your website, and then of course encouraged to reach out to you. I know you're on various different social media platforms, so they could easily direct message you and chat with you that way.
Yep.
Just ask my husband. I'm always on the social medias.
But yeah, also they should know that if they do contact us, they'll be speaking with either Tanessa or myself. You're looking at the whole company here. It's just two of us. So we touch every bottle. I'm the one that etches every single bottle, and we package it up together and we ship it out. And it's us doing all of it. It's not like we have a team behind here that's doing all the work and we're going back and smoking cigars. Tanessa is, while she's on social media.
No.
Yeah.
Well, scrolling.
So as we're kind of like quickly moving into the holiday season, I'm assuming that, you know, that will probably have a pretty big impact on you guys with either custom orders or even just, you know, your kind of general line that you have. So what's the lead time that people should give themselves if they did want to place an order for either one of your current lines or a custom product?
Well, every one of our products is made to order.
Okay.
That's kind of how we keep our inventory and our overhead, you know, manageable. So we typically ask for 2 weeks time to just give ourselves a cushion. But, you know, we know that it's the holidays and people are buying gifts for Christmas and they want it by Christmas. So, I mean, we accept orders up until like the week before Christmas.
And again, it's just the two of us. So if you need something, you know, it turned around really quickly, all you need to do is reach out, you know, put a little note in your order, or just, you know, email us or contact us and be like, oh no, next week's my dad's birthday and I totally forgot. And we will just, you know, we'll make sure we can get that out to you. And that's part of the you know, fun and the ease of being the two employees of our work. And the fun of the laser is, unlike screen printing or something that is a little bit more not permanent, but it's a little bit more involved to make the stencil.
Right.
We can do it on the computer, and then, you know, we can do one-offs, and we have a little bit more flexibility around that. There's definitely calibration and things that need to happen. It's not instantaneous, but
definitely different than creating a stencil for a silk screen and then like putting it on it. Yeah,
exactly. And that's why we can do one of a kind things, because we don't have to then wash the stencil and do a whole new thing. So yeah, so we ask for as much time as you can give us, but we can be flexible too, especially for our North Bay, you know, people who are really close by. You know, we do have our studio is in our home, but we have local people come swing by and pick stuff up, and we can leave stuff on our porch for you.
Porch pickup.
Yep.
Totally.
Yeah, that's great. That's really, you know, that instantaneous, right? We're all so used to that these days, unfortunately, which is not realistic. But it's nice to have that personal contact and interaction. So if somebody did forget a milestone, so to speak, that, we can directly reach out and actually chat with you guys. That's great.
Yeah, we had a couple weeks ago, a friend's friend wanted to engrave an axe for his dad's 70th birthday, and he needed it the next day. So he just drove up here with his axe, and we engraved the axe handle for his dad.
Here it is.
Yeah.
I just waited while we did it.
Yeah. I mean, I know from when I first met you guys that, all in all, it's the engraving process. While there's some initial setup and like you mentioned, calibration, all in all, it is actually a rather quick process for a completely finished and like ready to go good, which is amazing.
Yeah, and we love the idea too that the customer gets to participate. It's almost like a DIY experience where they can say, I want this font, or I want a poppy, or whatever it is, and it's their idea that we get to make come to life, and that's really fun.
Yeah, and I think that's also what makes it even more special, right? And that piece of barware that you want to keep and hold on to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You touched on this before. You touched on makers, and I feel like we've heard that word a lot more recently in the last couple of years. So, what do you think brought on the rise of the maker culture, so to speak?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I know that wasn't what we talked about previously, but
curveball.
I was a little distracted. I didn't catch the entire question, but I think I would say what brought on the maker culture kind of, I think it's kind of the answer to manufacturing all going overseas.
Right.
And there's less of, it seems like there's less like mass production here. So I think it's all gone, away from the macro and into like a small scale in individual people actually doing the manufacturing and making.
Yeah, and I think, to tag along to that, there's a different quality. There's a different quality that comes with something that somebody has spent time making versus something that a machine makes or, a factory makes. And I think that also people like the idea that it's unique. I think for a while everybody wanted something that everybody else had, and I want what the Joneses have, and the exact same thing, and that was what was popular. And I think we've kind of swung back the other way a little bit, where people are like, I want something nobody else has. Right. I want something there's one of, and I want to know the person who made it. And I also think that there's a slow, like this, I feel like the slow food movement kind of transferred into the slow product movement.
I was just going to say, it is a very similar concept of like that farm to table, like knowing where your food comes from, knowing that you're giving back to the community that it's, being made in. There's a lot of value, I think, that comes with that. And is very, I think, that maker community has a lot of the same qualities and characteristics as the slow food movement or farm to table, which
Absolutely.
The Bay Area, I think, lives and breathes that pretty well. And I appreciate being from this part of the country and world.
Totally. We have also, I talked about the restaurant industry being like a family. Well, the maker community is also like a family. And throughout this whole COVID time where shows weren't happening and that sort of thing, I have been blessed to be part of a maker group that we get together on Thursdays, and we do a Zoom call, and we all talk about, first it started out just talking about like, what do we do? It's, it's all changing. And then over time, whoever has an expertise, and it's like one of the gals is super good at Etsy, and she just shared with us tips for Etsy. And one of the guys has just, his business has gone great on Amazon, so he shared with us how he did well on Amazon. Some people are social media experts, some people, and it's just been this lovely, and they're from all over the country. We have people all the way from Rhode Island all the way to Southern California, just the entire and it's been wonderful to be a part of those, because there's an authenticity to it that's a little bit different than big business. Yes, like we're all
Right.
trying to make ends meet. We all want our business to be successful, but nobody's trying to scam anybody out of anything.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth in that. And, you know, one person's success can be everyone's success. And so there's no reason not to share that insight,
Yeah.
and that knowledge. There's,
Yeah.
you know, there's plenty of pie for everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And everybody's got a different niche, you know, everybody makes a
Right.
different part of that pie. And so we're all here to make it a better whole. That's definitely how we feel.
Yeah, that's great. Whatever. I think that's also just like a really, also a special experience to be able to have in a time where connection is, you know, lacking or hard to find. And that's a really important thing to have, you know, that sense of community.
Totally. And you know, and as far as makers go too, the other thought I had was during this time when people have been forced to have the opportunity to slow down.
Right.
I think that it has reminded people, you know, that the time and energy you put into something is also like what you get out of it. So, you know, I started the whole thing freaking out and I started a sourdough starter and I've been making sourdough bread. I was totally one of those people.
Yeah.
But the bread is so good and it takes days, you know, it's like a total effort.
Another child, right?
Yeah, it is. But I love it. And the family looks forward to it. And it's, you know, a bread day and it's exciting. And there's something like, I don't know, kind of ancestral about it. And that's really to me, very important to slow down and experience that.
I agree. I think that this year was, well, no one anticipated it or would say that they needed it. There's been some silver lining amongst it, for
Totally.
sure.
Totally.
And I did try the bread making thing. I got, you know, like one loaf, my first loaf was like this really great success. And then I tried it 3 other times and they like totally fell flat. And I was like, meh.
I gave up for a while in the summer because it was so hot. I was like, I'm not baking right now. But last week I baked again. It was very exciting.
Nice. Well, before we wrap up, I would love for you to tell us one more time where people can find you, and both online, your social media platforms, and just the best way to reach you.
Our store is www.reclamationetchworks.com. We are also on Etsy, and our social media handle is @RecEtch, @REC_etch, REC_ETCH.
If you Google Reclamation Etchworks, we are the first thing that shows up.
We picked a really weird name that no one else is anywhere near.
Probably not. Yeah, you guys are probably the only ones.
Yeah. I think that's about it. Follow us on Instagram. I'm almost to 3,000 followers. I only need like 30 more. Come on.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thanks.
No, I mean, you know, that all plays into all of it, right? All the algorithms, all of that. And so congratulations on that. I know it's also hard to do.
It takes a lot of time, but again, there's some really cool people we've met all across the world, actually. Mm-hmm. And I have all these weird, fun social media relationships with people that are great.
Yeah.
And it's been a lifeline when I'm at home with my kids all day.
Definitely. And also, hopefully, in the next year and sometime in the future, you can find us at, you know, wineries and breweries. We bring the laser with, and we do live etching.
Fun.
And we'll do glassware there. So
maybe at the next distillery festival.
Yes. So
yes, you will definitely be at the next distillery festival. It's just unsure when that will be.
When that's going to be. Well, we will keep wearing our masks.
Yeah. And follow us on social media so you can find out. We always post where we're going to be, and then we'll make glassware just for you, and you can watch it happen on our laser.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tanessa and Tim, for being with me today. It was so great to chat with you and have you on. I really appreciate your time, and thank you so much again.
Thank you, Lindsay. We really appreciate it.
All right. Talk to you guys soon. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.